We are witnessing a multiplication of new conflicts. At the same time, old conflicts seem never to die, be it in Afghanistan or in Somalia or in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Of course, we have no longer wars between states. We are essentially facing internal conflicts with a multiplicity of actors: government troops, rebel groups, religious militia, ethnic militia, international forces, gangsters. I mean, all in the same scenario. Normally with important regional implications. Look at Syria, how it's spread to Iraq, how it's impacting on Lebanon, on Jordan, on Turkey, on the neighbors. And what is more dramatic, more and more of these conflicts are becoming interlinked and linked to this new threat of a global form of terrorism.
Exactly, but also the states are involved in the sense that Russia and America are involved in the Syria-Iraq axis. China and America have very strong views on North Korea, and North Korea seems to be in a very febrile condition. That's what's worrying people.
On one hand, it can be considered worrying. On the other hand, it might be the solution. I mean, if big powers are able to understand now that these are conflicts in which nobody is winning, everybody is losing, this became a threat to everybody, including for the citizens of the big powers because of terrorism.
Then there is Donald Trump, President of the United States. How do you read his engagement with the United Nations?
Well, we have had a constructive dialogue. He has said, on one hand, that he has many criticisms to present to the United Nations, but he also said that the UN has a huge potential. I agree that the UN has a huge potential, and what I'm trying to do is to do the reforms that are necessary to make that potential transform itself into a reality.
But if you take something like climate change, in which you were very concerned, in which the UN could play a bigger role, Mr. Trump doesn't believe in climate change.
Well, we will see now. I know that there are important discussions within the US administration on whether or not to stay in the Paris Agreement. I can only encourage all countries, and of course the United States, to stay in the Paris Agreement. But today, governments are not the only entities that matter in climate change. We have seen how more and more those that are now betting in the new technologies that allow us to fight climate change will be those that will dominate the economy of tomorrow. I am a strong believer in the dynamism of the business community, the cities, the states, the American society, in order to make sure that the US stays the course in relation to the reduction of emissions.
Where is it in your in-tray? Very near the top? At the top?
I think climate change is, to a certain extent, the defining element of our time. And this is a critical moment. We know that either we act now or we will create some irreversible damage to our planet that will make our grandchildren suffer a lot.
When you look at Britain, member of the Permanent Five in the Security Council, and its promised departure, Brexit, from Europe, do you think that is going to reduce its involvement and impact in the United Nations? Will you look to it less?
No, I would say that if the UK leaves the European Union, the UK needs to engage more actively with other organizations. I mean, and so my belief is that the engagement of the UK with the UN will increase in the future.
Now, you called it a cancer in the peacekeeping world, and that was the rape and abuse that was meted out by peacekeepers, some peacekeepers, a minority of them, but in the Congo, in South Sudan and in other places. Are you satisfied that you've managed to cut this cancer out?
No, we have a long way to go, but we have presented to the General Assembly a new strategy, and to create mechanisms both within the investigation capacity of the UN and in relations with member states, because our member states, the member states that contribute to the troops, are the ones that can legally punish those that misbehave, to create the conditions for that articulation to work much better, because we need to end impunity. That is my main objective.
It's the beginning of your term. How do you want to be judged when it ends?
I don't care about it. What I would like is to be able to be much more effective in preventing conflicts and in solving them. Whether I will be able or not achieve as much as I would like, I don't know. But I'm totally committed to do everything I can to reduce human suffering.